welcome to episode 88 of Cooking with Miss Carlson. And I will wear this hat until we reach 100 episodes.
Today we're going to show you how to make some chocolate-covered caramels, or turtles, they're sometimes referred to. You can make these with or without nuts. If you make them with the pecans or the nuts, then they would be called the turtles. But if you just want to make chocolate-covered caramel, that works too. What you need for this is a half of a cup of butter, or 1 stick, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, and 1 cup of light corn syrup. You also need 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. And then if you're going to use nuts, you'll want to get some of those. And you'll need some chocolate to coat the caramel in afterwards. You want to grease a 9 by 13 inch pan and just set that aside. In a saucepan, what you're going to do is put all of those ingredients in here and then bring it to a really low boil. So you'll put 1 stick of butter in the saucepan. You need 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, half brown sugar, and 1 cup of corn syrup. Alright. I usually just use a spatula to mix this together. What you're going to want to be careful with this is that you don't let this boil too much. You just want it to be a really low boil. If it boils too much, it will burn on the bottom. So you'll want to be stirring this constantly too once you get it mixed together. Okay, the last thing we need to add is our sweetened condensed milk. While this is mixing together, what you can do to prep ahead is put the nuts down in the bottom of your 9 by 13 inch pan. Alright, so we're just going to mix this together until it boils, and then we're going to cook it at that low boil for 6 minutes. After the 6 minutes, you'll want to dump this over top of the nuts. Remember, we greased this pan as well. What we'll need to do next is put this in the refrigerator or the freezer until it sets up. What's nice about these is when they are cooled, all we'll have to do is cut them and then dip them in the chocolate.
Here's the conclusion of the caramel.
The caramel truffles here. We've got chocolate covered caramel. So we let this sit in the refrigerator overnight. Now I'm going to cut this up into little pieces and then we'll dip it in chocolate.
The conclusion of...
Alright, so we actually took the caramel right out of the pan with the spatula. That's going to make it easier to cut. So what you're going to do is just take a big knife and cut this into small bite-sized cubes, and then we'll dip those cubes into the melted chocolate. So we'll come back when we dip these in melted chocolate. Alright, so once we have each of our caramels cut, you'll see that the pecans are on the inside. So then you just put it in some melted chocolate, twirl it around. I use a fork because you can run the fork over the edge and get all the excess chocolate off. And then all you're going to do is put this on a lined baking sheet to let the chocolate set up. And that's all there is to it. Your caramels are done.